Next we have Sonali. She writes, my son is 5 years old. To get anything done from him, we have to tell him again and again. Like, Arav, brush your teeth, do your study. He never listens immediately. So he always needs somebody to play with him, like me or his father. Rarely he plays alone. Sonali, your worry is natural, but then I see there's nothing to actually worry about because your child is still 5. It's very natural for him to want yours and your husband's attention. It's very natural. He's just 5, okay? And you said you have to tell him again and again to do something. Okay, you feel that he does one thing after being told again and again, right? I think it's the other way around. It's just that he's gotten used to you telling that again and again. So, what you could do from now on, get into the habit of saying anything just once, and then you could hold him accountable. For example, you tell him, Arif, brush your teeth. Okay? Make him sit before that, make him sit for like a minute, and then tell him, Arif, from now on, whatever I say, I'm just going to tell it once, and I want you to do that. Make sure you're not telling him to do too many things at a time. It is confusing for a 5-year-old. You could pick up on 1 or 2 or max 3 things throughout the entire day that he can choose to do on his own. Okay? If example, brushing his teeth is the one example that you want to pick, so what you could do is just tell him, Arav, go brush your teeth. Okay? And then do not say that again. The next time you talk to him, you will talk not to tell him to do that again, but to check if he has done that. There is a difference between these two. We parents have, just because we got to, we want that work done, we say the same thing over and over again. We are so busy in our own chores that we just put these comments in between our work. We are cooking and say, Arav, go brush your teeth. We are in our office work and say, Arav, did you brush your teeth? No, it is not that. You got to give your specific attention and time for that. Whatever you're doing, keep it aside. Go tell him to do that. Wait for like 5 or 10 minutes, do your work. Then after 10 minutes, go back, leave everything, go and ask again, Arav, did you? If it says no, then say why. Make sure that he is in a mode of listening as well. Make sure he's not busy playing with something. So your Arav, did you brush becomes a passing comment. He just hears and then leaves it out. It should not happen like that. Keeping accountable is what is going to help. And the other thing is giving that its due attention. Do not make these things a passing comments. First time, it will not work. I promise you it won't work. Second time, maybe a little bit. Third time, a little bit more. And over a period of time, he needs to understand that he got to do things when told once. And he will understand that only when you stop telling that multiple times. Otherwise, he gets into the habit of listening to the same thing over and over and over again, and then again, he gets used to it. Okay? Okay, hope that helps. Let me know your comments below. We have Kumar. My son is 4.5 years old. I really don't know how to deal with him. If I contradict him, he starts throwing things, shuts the door forcefully, and does all the mess. And following that, he does the same things which I do. Example, oops, this is a long message. If I beat him, he again beats me immediately. So I stopped beating and started staring at him with anger. Okay, this goes on and on. But the tone that I can get from this first few sentences that I read, Julie, is, see, he's 4.5, okay? And irrespective of age, children are great imitators. They learn by seeing, not by listening. Majority of the learnings happen through seeing. So make sure what he's seeing is what he should be learning. Okay? If you want him to learn XYZ, make sure he sees that. Otherwise, He will learn what he sees. It might not be XYZ, it might be ABC, right? Remember, if you want your child to learn something, just make sure he's seeing that a lot of times in his living environment. If he's hitting back, that means, as you clearly said, you are hitting him, okay? And if he is yelling too much, maybe you or somebody else in the house is doing that. If he's slamming the door, then yes, he has seen that happening somewhere. So make sure the environment is safe, environment is supportive to the growth that you expect him to have. Yeah, I hope that answers your question, Julie. Sandeep says, my 2-year-old son is very addicted to television. His 2 and is addicted. Okay, should not have happened, but let's see. How to distract him. Also, he daily sleeps very late at about 12:30 a.m. We are tired a lot, but whatever time he wakes up in the afternoon, that is before 4:30, he's so active and excited, and at night he doesn't sleep. Okay, putting children to sleep early is one hell of a task. They are so bubbling with energy all the time. I have no idea where they get that from, but that's the fact. Okay, it's really difficult to put them to sleep, but then make sure your child has a lot of physical activity in the entire day. If he's sitting at one place and you're saying that he's addicted to cell phones, so obviously he'll be sitting at one place. He is not able to have that physical activity that's required. So a lot of physical activity is a must, otherwise they don't get tired. Yeah, so to address that, make sure a lot of physical activity is there, and whatever nap time is there, try to prepone that a little bit, maybe by 15 minutes or 30 minutes in a week. So this entire week you could focus on reducing it. What is the time you mentioned? 12:30 a.m. So you could make it 12 a.m. for this entire week. Yeah, then the next week you'll make it to 11:30, because all of a sudden sleeping from 12:30 a.m. to 10 p.m. is just not possible, because the body cycle is adjusted to sleeping at 12:30. So you got to reduce it gradually. Over a period of a month or two, you will be able to achieve that 10 p.m. time frame. Okay, so make sure you give him enough transition time. And about the addiction part, for a 2-year-old, it is actually very easy, because children at that age, you can distract them easily. So what you could do, just take the cell phones off. Make sure you, Sandeep, you and your wife and other people in the family are not watching gadgets in his presence. You got to do your a bit of sacrifice, your share of sacrifice for that. Make sure you're not watching those gadgets. And what else do we have? How to distract them? With toys, with stories, with coloring, painting, drawing, with blocks. You know, we're just throwing him up in the air and catching. I mean, for a 2-year-old, it's actually very easy. The adults are those who are actually tough to handle. The younger your children are, the easy it is to mold them in shape. That is why, I keep telling, whatever you have to do, the rapport that you need to get with your children, do it before they hit their teenage. That is when they are in tweens, or even before that is great, but that at least when they are in their teenage. Otherwise, I'm sorry, you'll have to wait till they finish their teenage and start, maybe reach their 20s. That is when this comes in place again.